Hey guys, let us continue with our environmental series. We are doing the environmental pollution part, and let's continue with the water pollution. So, what are the types of water pollution? So, basically, surface water and groundwater. Water is classified as surface water or ocean, lake, and river, which we see on the surface, and groundwater is stored under the ground in aquifers. And what are the other types? One is point source and the non-point source. Point source is if pollution comes from a single location, such as a discharge pipe from an industry or factory, from which toxicants are entering the water, which is a point source. What is non-point source? Water pollution happens not from one single source but from many different scattered sources, which is called non-point source. Example, sewage released from many villages into the river. So these are the point and non-point sources. Now what is transboundary? Pollution that enters the environment in one place has an effect 100 or even thousands of miles away, which is transboundary, because if we are polluting this place, that river or something will reach another place also. So it will have effect on places which are even 1000 miles away. Example, great garbage patch, and also oil spills, it will affect a vast area, right? So these are transboundary pollution. Now, how to measure if water is polluted? How we will find out? First one is by chemical indicator. How? By checking the toxic chemicals in the water. We'll check the water whether it is pure or not. Now, second one is biological indicator. So, what is this biological indicator? By looking at the biological diversity in water, which is biological indicator. Like if some organism are continuously dying, then probably that water may contain some toxicant, like so. And the next one is causes. What are the causes? The major cause is sewage, then excessive nutrient, then wastewater from industry, chemical waste, radioactive waste, soil pollution, plastic, invasive species. All these things are causes. Now what are the effects? First one is eutrophication. The algal bloom, which will block the sunlight and other important nutrients and air. So the species beneath the water, deep in the deep water, will not get enough nutrients. And the next one is biomagnification. So biomagnification, bioaccumulation. We discussed this concept already, right? These are the basic concepts. Magnification is increasing the pollutant from one level to another, and accumulation is from one trophic level to next trophic level. It is getting accumulated and it will increase the pollutant level. And the metals like lead, zinc, arsenic, copper, mercury, cadmium, these are some of the water pollutants, and it will reduce the dissolved oxygen content also. Now what is the remedy? Sewage water treatment before industries releasing the wastewater into water body, and then checking toxic wastes released by industries, and also controlling the plastic water dumped into marine water body, decentralized water conservation and purification. So these are some of the steps we have to take. Now we'll look at some of the diseases associated with water pollution. What are they? Black food disease. This is due to arsenic leaching. And then asbestosis, it has no cure at all. It will cause chronic lung disease. And then blue baby syndrome, because of excessive nitrate with the human hemoglobin, it will cause methoglobin. Then iodine 131, thyroid damage. So this is released basically from the nuclear site. And then itai, it's also known as Sauchurch disease. It is because of cadmium pollution. It will affect the lungs and even liver. Then lead anemia. So because of lead, anemia is caused. Then Minamata, it is due to mercury, basically methyl mercury. And the next one is pneumoconiosis, or the black lung disease. This is occupational lung disease due to inhalation due to coal dust. And then silicosis, because of silica, and this will cause lung disease. Skeletal fluorosis because of fluoride, and it will cause teeth deformity, and then bone hardening also. Then Yokkaichi asthma, this is due to sulfur oxide from crude oil. SPCB and empowers the board to establish what is the affluent standard for the waste to be discharged in water. So the industry have to treat the waste before discharging them. Even CPCB performs the same function for union territory. And SPCB, it will control the sewage and industrial effluent discharge. And what are the marine pollutants? The pollutants are oil, plastic, industrial and agri waste, chemical particles. These are some of the marine pollutants. And what causes they make? They'll cause chemical release from industry, sewage disposal, oil spill, ocean mining, tourism, plastic, land runoff. Then what are the other effects? It will cause death of marine animals and also coral bleaching, depletion of dissolved oxygen, and also eutrophication and reproductive cycle of animal also get affected. So these are various effect. I'm very sorry. Then what are the initiatives taken by the government? The Global Program of Action, GPA. This is a global initiative for the marine protection. And then so this is for marine based activity. We also have this Marpol Convention 1973. This is related to ship, and then London Convention. So all these are related to water pollution at the international level. And now we are starting with the soil pollution. So soil, we all know it is a very thin layer of organic and inorganic material. It covers the Earth's rocky surface. So soil pollutant is any factor which deteriorates the quality, texture and mineral content of the soil. Deteriorating the soil content is called soil pollution, and this will disturb the biological balance of organism in the soil. Now what are the causes for soil pollution? Indiscriminate use of fertilizer, pesticide, insecticide, herbicide, pollution due to urbanization, then dumping large quantity of solid waste, deforestation and soil erosion. So these are some of the causes. Now what are the effect of soil pollution? It's the effect is on agriculture. This is the main thing which gets affected. Then reduced soil fertility, nitrogen and fixation and crop yield. Increased salinity and erosion. Then what are the effect on health? It will cause have effect on biomagnification, leaching and water pollution also happens because of this soil pollution. Then in environment, ecological balance will be reduced. Now what are the remedies? We have to reduce the overuse of pesticide and fertilizer which is affecting the soil pollution. We can use pesticide and fertilizer, and also organic farming is to be encouraged. The 4 R's which we always have to remember: refuse, reuse, recycle and reduce. Then solid waste treatment is also essential. Now the next type of pollution is radioactive pollution. So radioactivity, this is the phenomenon of spontaneous emission of proton. Radioactivity is the sudden or spontaneous emission of proton, like alpha particle and electron. They are the beta particle and the gamma ray. So they are getting emitted spontaneously due to disintegration of atoms of atomic nuclei is called radioactive pollution. So they occur when there is presence or deposition of radioactive material in the atmosphere. So when there is presence of radioactive material in the atmosphere or environment, especially when there is presence in when their presence is accidental, and when it presents an environmental threat due to radioactive decay. So all these will cause radioactive pollution. Radioactive material whose presence is accidental and it causes threat. Now what are the causes for this pollution? Sometimes nuclear accident happen, then nuclear bombs are greater cause of destruction, and then use of radioisotope in medicine and other application. Then spillage of radioactive material in the ocean, it's more dangerous than oil spill. Then radiation test, cosmic ray, all these things. Then what are the effects? Genetic mutation. Change of genetic material in the future generation. Diseases like cancer, leukemia occur due to radiation. Now soil pollution. So what are the effects? Genetic mutation is one of the effect. And then diseases like cancer will happen. Then soil pollution will also happen. Then cell destruction, burns. These are the effect. Now what are the measures or remedy to be taken? Proper disposal of radioactive waste as per the international guidelines is to be made mandatory. And then we have to label which are the hazardous radioactive material, and proper usage instruction must be given to avoid accident. Then banning nuclear arm test. Then shifting to alternative to nuclear energy since it is not safe. And if an accident happens, its effect is very severe, so we have to look for some alternative. Then proper storage of nuclear waste using containers which can absorb the radiation is also essential. And reusing the nuclear material and reducing nuclear waste, these are the steps to prevent the radioactive pollution. Now the next one is about the e-waste. So what is this e-waste? The discarded and end of life electronic products. So many products like TV, our laptops, mobile phones, these are the e-waste. When we discard it, their electronic products life is over. It ranges from computer equipment used in ICT, home appliances, audio video products are all there. Peripherals, all these are popularly known as e-waste. Not hazardous if stored using scientific methods. So we have to store them on scientific advisory guidelines. And it will become hazardous if recycled in primitive methods. Now what are the pollutants which causes, what are the e-waste pollutants and their description, we'll look into them. First one is lead. The main source is glass panel and the soldered electronic circuit. It will cause damage to central and peripheral nervous system of human being. So lead is very dangerous. And next one is cadmium. It is obtained from the SMD chip resistor and also in infrared detector and CRT. It will be accumulated in the kidney and which is harmful. Then mercury from thermostat, sensor, relay, switches and flat display panel. It will affect the brain and kidney. Then chromium. So chromium dioxin is released when PVC plastic is burnt. So this is causing damage to DNA also. And the next one is brominated flame retardant. So these are from the electronic equipment to prevent flame, and this causes neural disorder. Then barium. Barium, it is also used in some crackers also. These are the soft silvery white kind of metal. This is to protect the radiation. But this one, this waste can cause even brain swelling and muscle weakness. Then next one is beryllium. They are found in the mother bone and finger clips. And this can cause even lung cancer and skin disease. Now next one is about bioremediation. What is this bioremediation? It is the use of microorganisms like bacteria and fungi to degrade the environmental contaminant into a less toxic form. This is using of biological microorganisms for disposing the waste, which is bioremediation. So it can be monitored indirectly by measuring oxidation reduction potential or redox in soil. And then, so redox not just in soil but also in groundwater, and together with pH, temperature, oxygen, then concentration of breakdown product like carbon dioxide, all these things are taken into account for bioremediation. Now, what is in situ bioremediation? This is a type. In situ means it involves treatment of the contaminated material at the site, like on site. If we treat them on the site itself, which is in situ. Bioventing. Bioventing is supply of air and nutrients through wells to the contaminated soil. So we are supplying through a pipe kind of thing, that is through well to the contaminated soil, which is bioventing. Why we are doing this? To stimulate the growth of indigenous bacteria. Then it will simplify, or this will reduce the waste. Now the next process is biosparging. Here we are we are injecting the air under pressure below the water table. So we are injecting the water using pressure. This will increase the groundwater oxygen concentration. This process is called biosparging. Even here, this will increase the naturally occurring bacteria. The next step is bioaugmentation. So here the microorganisms are imported to a contaminated site to enhance degrading process. So this is again to increase the degradation process. Microorganisms are being imported. So using this particular technique, Terry, it has developed a mixture of bacteria called oil zapper and Olivorus S. These two are the bacteria to reduce the oil spill effect. This will degrade the pollutants of oil spill. And it is also environmental friendly and high cost effective technique. Now the next one is about the ex situ. So all these things which we saw now are on spot treatment. Now ex situ, it involves removal of contaminated material to be treated elsewhere. It will be contaminated at one place. We have to take them and we have to do bioremediation on some other place, which is ex situ. First one is land farming. Here contaminated soil, we are excavating it and then spreading it over a prepared bed and periodically tilled until the pollutants are degraded. So what is the goal? This is to stimulate the biodegradative like bacteria and microbes, etc. This is land farming. Next one is biopile. So what is biopile? It is a hybrid of land farming and composting. So the mixture of these two is called biopile, land farming and composting. Essentially engineered cells are constructed aerated composted pile. Typically they are used for treatment of surface contamination. So biotile is suitable mostly for the surface contamination and petroleum hydrocarbon. Now what are the bioreactors? Bioreactors means it involves the process of contaminated solid material or water through an engineered containment system. So if we use contaminated soil material, which is bioreactor for engineering the contamination. Now the next one is composting. We already saw land farming plus composting is equal to biopile. What is this composting? So we have heard natural process of recycling. All the organic material we will dig a big pit kind of thing and we'll put all the biodegradable. It will be converted into manure or compost, which can be used as manure later. This is composting. Now what are the advantages of bioremediation? So it will help in complete I'm sorry. I am. So complete destruction is possible. Complete destruction of pollutant. Then it's less expensive and also environmental friendly. So these are the advantages. Now what are the disadvantages of bioremediation? It is limited only to those components that are biodegradable. Only biodegradable things can only be cleared using that, and the other things are not being reduced. So biological processes are often highly specific, and it is difficult to extrapolate from bench and pilot scale studies to full scale field operation. Now bioremediation, it can often take place longer time than other treatment process. Since it is a kind of natural process, it will take longer time. So these are some of the disadvantages. They can be done only on biodegradable, it's time consuming and also highly specific, all these things. Now the next kind of pollution is the plastic pollution. So what is this plastic pollution? Plastic pollution, it is because of two categories of plastic. One is thermoplastic and the thermoset plastic. Thermoplastic are 80% and thermoset constitute only 20% of total post-consumer plastic waste generated in India. So major contributing factor for waste is thermoplastic. So yeah, now we understood that thermoplastics are more dangerous. But they are the recyclable plastic also. Thermoplastic, though they constitute much amount of waste, they are recyclable. Like PET, polyethylene terephthalate, then low density polyethylene, PVC, HDPE, that is high density polyethylene, PP, then polystyrene. Whereas thermoset plastic, it contains alkyl explosive ester, melamine formaldehyde, phenol formaldehyde, silicon, urea formaldehyde, polyurethane, metallized and multi-layer plastic, all these things. Now, Plastic Waste Management Rule 2016. What is this Plastic Waste Management Rule? This is to increase minimum thickness of plastic carry bag from 40 to 50 micron. So this is about increasing the thickness and expand the jurisdiction of applicability from municipal area to the rural area. So plastic waste management rule, it is about increasing the thickness. So it talked about increasing the thickness and also about the expanding the jurisdiction of the rules to be applied even to the rural area, and it will also bring the responsibility of producer and generator. So producers have to recycle them, so that responsibility is being laid, called EPR, extended producer responsibility. So they have to collect back the plastic waste generated and they have to dispose it or recycle it, and to promote the use of plastic waste for road construction. So they can even use it for road construction as per Indian Road Congress guideline or energy recovery or waste to oil, etc. Now, what did the 2018 rule tell us? The amendment talks about the responsibility of waste generator is being introduced. So they are responsible for the waste generated. First time person organizing such event has been made responsible for management of waste. So in case of events also, the organizer have to be made responsible and they have to collect back all the waste. Now what is EPR? EPR is the, earlier it was left to the discretion of local body. Now the amendment rule, it for the first time it recognized the producers and the brand owners have been made responsible for collecting waste generated from their product. So this is a very good collect back system called EPR. Now CPCB, it has also mandated to formulate the guidelines for the Thermoset plastic, that is plastic, thermoset plastic, they are generated in very less quantity but still they are not recyclable, which is again a very big drawback. Now what are the initiatives by the government to tackle plastic? First one is BS norm, that is Bharat stage norm. So these norms are rules which determine the maximum limit of pollutant vehicle can emit. Now the standard is based on European regulation, were first introduced in the year 2000. So 2020, BS6 it has been introduced bypassing the BS5, and this norm will be declared by CPCB under Ministry of Environment. And the next one is GRAP, Graded Response Action Plan. So it specifies the action required for controlling PM from various pollution sources, and it will also prevent PM10, PM2.5 level to go beyond moderate AQR category. And this was planned by Environmental Pollution Prevention and Control Authority, and it also was approved by the Supreme Court in 2016. So GRAP is for controlling the particulate matter especially, and it was implemented by the Delhi only. Recently GRAP has been extended to NCR town also. And the next one is CAFE, which is Corporate Average Fuel Efficiency or Economy. So this is a kind of regulation in force in many developing country and also advanced country. Even in India this is there. So this is about lowering the fuel consumption or improving fuel efficiency of vehicle by lowering the carbon dioxide emission. So they will reduce the emission and increase the fuel efficiency. In India, CAFE regulation came into force in 2017 under that the average corporate carbon dioxide emission from vehicle, it must be less than 130 gram per kilometer till 2022, and it has to be further reduced to 113 gram per kilometer after 2022. So this is about the CAFE regulation in India. Then CCAC is Climate and Clean Air Pollutant, and this is a kind of voluntary partnership of many government, intergovernmental organization, even civil society, business people. So all these people are committed to protect the climate and improve the air quality through action to reduce the short-lived climate pollutant. India also a member of this particular coalition in 2019, and currently the main focus is on four short-lived chemical pollutants. What are they? Black carbon, methane, hydrofluorocarbon, and also tropospheric ozone. These are the four kind of pollutants which are in focus. Now what is this coal coalition? Coal coalition, it is a global effort led by UNEP, that is UN Environment, the Climate and the Clean Air Coalition, and also the Kigali Cooling Efficiency Program and Sustainable Energy for All. So this, as the name suggests, it is a coalition of various international organizations. This was launched at first global conference on synergies between 2030 agenda and the Paris Climate Agreement 2019. So this is to accelerate the transition to clean and efficient cooling system, which is cooling coalition. And the next one is about the National Action Plan for Conservation of Aquatic Ecosystem, NPCA. So the NWCP, that is National Wetland Conservation Program, along with the National Lake Conservation Plan, NLCP, both of them it have been merged into integrated scheme, which is NPCA 2013. NPCA, that is National Action Plan for Conservation of Aquatic Ecosystem. We are conserving the aquatic ecosystem by merging the wetland and the lake conservation plan together. The main aim is to conserve and restore the lake and wetland. This is for increasing the water quality. Now, uh, and this will also help in increasing the biodiversity and ecosystem of water bodies. And the next one is CWMI, Composite Water Management Index. So this is the index released by Niti Aayog, and it will help us to improve the water resource management. And 21 Indian states, including Delhi, Bangalore, Chennai, Hyderabad, they will also run out groundwater by 2020, affecting 100 million people. So the groundwater will be reduced severely in these major cities. So water management and groundwater conservation is very important. That is why NITI Aayog came with this particular index. So we are done with the pollution part. Thank you.